Making a game is hard. What kind of game do I make? What kind of skills do I need? Can I even make the game? Who's gonna play this game? What do I use to make it? Do I need money to make it? What's the story gonna be like? What about the core gameplay loop? Somebody mentioned something about shaders? A couple months ago, I decided to drop all my side projects and focus fully on game development. This is a big endeavor because I'm a full-time software engineer and I'm also focusing on my YouTube channel. I often try to improve my coding skills just to get a better edge in my industry, so having something to do coding related outside of work is just beneficial to me. That said, I didn't have too much on my plate and I was trying to find something to work on, and I saw this post on Twitter about this game that I'm following that has a builders program. What this means is they'll let anybody build a game using their IP. It's a very revolutionary idea and it's not really been done before, but Axie Infinity and Sky Mavis plan to do this and are doing it. Check out a few of these games that are releasing very soon from the Axie Builders program. You still might be questioning why I would make a game for another company. There's a few reasons for this. The first is that it's a crypto and Web3 gaming company. This intrigues me a lot and has always intrigued me since I saw Axie Infinity and the Sky Mavis founders. They've weathered a lot of storms and they've also been at the forefront of a lot of Web3 gaming technology. Not only that, but seeing the other games in the Axie Builder programs gave me the confidence to fully commit to this. And just like that, Arcadian Rhythm was born. Well, first it was called Infinite Night, but I liked Arcadian Rhythm for the story better. Alright, so I have multiple years of coding, Photoshop, and Blender 3D modeling experience, but what kind of game do I make? When I was first starting picking out what kind of game I wanted to make, it reminded me of trying to pick something to eat. You always try to favor whatever you like eating the most, and in this case, I was favoring the type of games that I love playing the most, and that's action adventure and hack and slash. Now, I've never made a game before, so starting with such an ambitious type of game was a very big risk, but I knew that I had the skills to do this and I knew that is what I wanted to make. When the project first started, I wanted to call it Infinite Night. I didn't really know where to start, so I wanted to keep the idea simple and constrained. In development, there's this term known as scope creep, and it basically just means whenever you have an idea and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more complex and more complex, and originally you had something simple, but now, months later it's super complex. That's what scope creep is, and that's really what I want to avoid. Alright, so what did I come up with? Well, the game was originally called Infinite Night for a reason. It's the entire basis of the game. Essentially, you'll create a team of Axie, maybe 3 or 4, and you can only take one team into the ever-ending night, which is a phase in the game where you fight your way through chimera and new unknown enemy. Simple, but I know I can create a very fun and creative experience out of this, and I wanted to keep it in the Axie Infinity universe. I know I can build on this as well, so I kind of wanted the start area to be a hub world, and then different experiences attach onto that hub world. There will be a clear focus on graphics and gameplay. You'll also be able to move around a human playable character, and there will also be NPCs in the world to kind of separate this from the Axie Infinity storyline. The core loop. During the day, you can walk around as a human playable character and play around with your Axie, but at night, the Infinite Night, you have to play and attack and use your team of Axie to fight off Chimera. Knowing what to make was one thing, but I've never made a game before, so I really didn't know where to start. Thankfully, learning is a skill, and it's one that I've developed very well over the years. One thing that I like to do when I'm first learning something is hop straight onto YouTube and straight into Google. The quality of what you learn is going to be dependent on what you search. In things like this, you don't know what you don't know, so the best thing to do is to be as broad as possible. There are a few big names in the game YouTube space that I'm sure you've already heard of, but I'm going to list a few on the screen now. These were a great place to start, and over time I've built up a great big YouTube playlist of different videos that I can go back and reference whenever I need that information. So from there, I studied what I needed and then I created a plan. Based on my research, the most important piece to making a game is having a prototype. If you have a prototype, you have something to build on, and you also know if what you have is something that's fun and everybody likes to play. The quicker you can get your game into the hands of somebody else, the better you know if what you got is what is gonna be good. I came up with a full list of items that I wanted in my prototype, and then I just started building. Over time, that list changed, it grew, it shrunk, it got developed, but the vision became clearer. I knew what I wanted to make, I knew how to get there, and I knew what type of feel that I wanted. So from there, it was just building it. I started a community on Twitter, and eventually I'll get a Discord, but make sure to follow me on Twitter at Arcadian Axie to get more updates on this game. This is the first introduction video to a long series of devlogs on Arcadian Rhythm, my video game for Axie Infinity. If you're interested in following progress on the game, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Next time I'll be going over what I did to make the movement in the game, as well as going over how I made this cool looking character selection screen.